Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another quick take celebrity news edition. Well, y'all, it appears that we have a major update in regards to Diddy and his current legal woes. However, this appears to be somewhat of a bit of a win for him in one of his civil lawsuit cases. So let's go ahead and get into this quick take. Now, this sharing is coming from The Hollywood Reporter, and it shares that Diddy wins dismissal of Lil Rod's Rico breach of contract claims as civil lawsuit moves forward. The beleaguered billionaire will still have to answer for claims of S-trafficking and S-assault in the case that opened the floodgates of legal woes against the rap mogul. Now, of course, I'm going to be changing a few of those words to make sure we're keeping it YouTube friendly. Sean Diddy Combs won a small portion of his uphill legal battle on Monday when a federal judge dismissed the Racketeer Influence and Corruption Act, RICO, portion and 4 other causes of action brought in the legal filing from Rodney Lil Rod Jones. The producer, whose accusations preceded a flood of legal complaints against the rap mogul and his company. On Monday, Judge J. Paul Oken of the United States District Court for the Southern District of New York weighed in on Combs' defense team's motion to dismiss Jones versus Combs in a 31-page opinion, granting the motion in part by denying other portions related to S-assault and trafficking. The slimmed-down civil case will still move forward, but with the racketeering accusation struck from the case, along with the breach of contract claim and 3 causes of actions related to infliction of emotional distress. Judge Oken also dismissed a claim in the suit related to the Trafficking Victims Protection Act. In the dismissal of the RICO element of the lawsuit, the judge decided that Jones's case fails to prove any injury to his business or property caused by a RICO enterprise overseen by Diddy, and therefore he can't sue under the claim that his complaints relate to any alleged illicit enterprise. The judge said Jones's non-payment claim also lacked a causal connection with any purported racketeering activity. Combs' alleged refusal to honor the contract with Jones is not itself a RICO predicate act, even if the contract breach resulted from Jones's refusal to participate in Combs' alleged racketeering scheme, the judge wrote. In sum, whether or not Jones has adequately alleged the existence of a RICO enterprise, he has not tied the activities of that enterprise to defendant's breach of contract or any other business or property harm incurred by Jones. The breach of contract element was dismissed because nothing relating to a payment agreement was in writing, and a year has passed since any alleged agreement was made between Jones and Combs or his company. The claims of emotional distress were also found to be legally deficient. Judge Oken's decision was lopsided, however, and Combs, along with his chief of staff, Christina Coram, will still have to answer for claims of S-trafficking. Additional claims against Combs related to S-assault and premises liability will also proceed, the judge decided. But the trafficking claim against Combs Global was dismissed. In 2022, Jones was hired by Combs to work on what would become the Love album, Off the Grid, Combs' first studio record since 2006. He spent over a year in Combs' inner circle, living and traveling with Combs, and he also became his videographer in the day-to-day. When he exited the mogul's orbit, he claims he was groomed, abused, exploited, and stiffed on $50,000 in payment, publishing shares, and royalties for his work on the Grammy-nominated album. Jones' case was filed on February 26 in New York federal court, seeking $30 million in restitution. In the lengthy filing, which was later amended to add more damning allegations, Jones levels harsh accusations against Combs, include alleging that he was S-assaulted and allegedly forced by Combs to engage in S-acts, made to solicit S-workers, put under the influence, humiliated, and says he was repeatedly groped on his genitals while in Combs' orbit. While portions of the case will proceed after Monday's decision, the judge was curt as it admonished Jones and his attorney, using some strong language to cast off the plaintiff's attempted legal maneuver and his counsel's conduct. Judge Oken states that Jones' effort to convert a garden variety breach of contract case into a RICO suit falls flat. Jones fails to address any racketeering agreements in his opposition brief, and while the court prefers to decide issues on the merits, it should not be necessary to root around a 402-paragraph complaint to contrive novel arguments on Jones' behalf, he wrote in his memo. A special warning to counsel section was also included in the decision, directed to Blackburn, stating that his filings are replete with inaccurate statements of law, conclusory accusations, and inappropriate ad hominem attacks on opposing counsel. For example, in urging the court to consider a grand jury indictment of Combs on related criminal charges, Blackburn writes, as evidenced by U.S. Attorney Williams' press conference and the grand jury indictment, defendant Sean Combs and the Combs Rico enterprise are presumed guilty of being a Rico criminal organization. The judge quoted before writing, that any licensed member of the bar would espouse such an absurd understanding of the law is not just disturbing, but shocking. The judge wrote that the operative complaint and Blackburn's opposition brief are full of similar irrelevant insults, misstatements, and exaggerations. He added that the court will not hold Blackburn's antics against Jones at this point, but warned the attorney of looming sanctions or referral for discipline should such conduct continue. Blackburn told The Hollywood Reporter on Tuesday that he respects Judge Oken's order and opinion and is pleased with the decision, as he can now proceed with legal discovery related to the case naming both Combs and Coram. We view this as a win. The defendants wanted a total dismissal and they failed to get it, Blackburn said. I know where all of the bodies are buried and I have a huge shovel. Time to start digging. Now, Coram broke her silence last week, months after being named in at least 3 civil lawsuits alongside her former boss, claiming that she is innocent and that she has never condoned or aided and abetted the assault of anyone. Combs is currently being held at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn as he awaits trial in May, following his September arrest of federal RICO and trafficking charges. The beleaguered rap mogul is also facing dozens of lawsuits claiming he was involved in trafficking, SA, and misconduct over his decades in the music and fashion industry. He has denied all legal claims against him. Well, there you go. As you know, I don't typically go through all of the details of every single speck of this case along the way, because as I've shared in previous videos that I've covered in this area, that there's plenty of creators that are doing a great job at breaking down those specific details to every element, every step of the way. So for me, I like to just kind of take an overview of what's kind of going on as we get closer and closer to the May trial. I would love to know your thoughts on this. Do you think that there is potential for more cases to come to the same kind of situation? Do you think there's a chance of more charges being dropped in this case or in further cases? What's your thoughts on what's going on in here? Do you see this as a huge win for Diddy? Do you think that this will be the start of the cards kind of falling in his direction? Or do you think that this is just a maybe minor setback for the plaintiff side, but as far as all things go, we're going to continue to see things spin to a direction of where the rest of the cases may in fact stay more so intact until the May trial date. Now, of course, we all know that this is all things are alleged until we get to the final conclusion and what will be considered convicted on, if that is what should take place. As you know, I will be continuing to watch over this case as well, and as new things come about that I feel interested and compelled to talk about and share, I will certainly will also be sharing that with you. I would love to know your thoughts below, so definitely leave those respectfully down in the comment section. Again, I say all things are alleged until we find out what the end results are going to be, but I'm telling you now, 2025 has really been a year that we're going to need a complete rest from 2026 to 2027. Should I go on? Yeah, so I'm pretty sure, just like most people, we are looking for this to be wrapped up, but everything is climactically going to the space of May, and I guess we'll see how all things wrap up. May is rapidly approaching, and I guess we will see how all things will play out. So with that, I think that'll about do it for this video. Thank you so much for being here. If you are new here and you haven't had a chance to hit the subscribe button, go ahead and hit that button, because I would love to have you as part of the family, part of the community. I so appreciate all of you for your viewing and listening support. And with that, also make sure that you keep your all notification bells on so you don't miss any of my future videos that'll be added to the platform. And with that, I will bid you adieu. You take care, stay safe, and be blessed. And until next time, bye.